do this. Okay. Now.
All right, let's call me to order 12:07. First thing on the agenda, any public comments? Turo is here, standing in for his wife, who is hoping to join the board. Laura.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Appreciate that.
Oh, and she'll be here a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doctor appointment right away.
Okay. All right. What's your I don't know, connection to Dover and
From the Northeast originally, moved away, moving back. I'm working over at the mountain. Our two daughters, one of our daughters goes to Dover School. We live directly across the street, and just working on being part of the community.
nice.
Kind of trying to get the family moved into a smaller town and back what we grew up with.
Great. Are you originally from the Northeast?
Yes.
And what grade is your daughter?
She is in first grade, going second grade now.
Oh, nice.
And then we have a 5-month-old little baby as well.
Yeah, so our daughters go in the same class and our babies go to the same daycare.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I talked to both Richard and Matt and Laura back in February. I think it must have been vacation week. I was walking
Oh,
and they were, their kids were sliding on the hill at the school.
oh, nice.
And I just went and had a conversation, and that's when we were meeting another trustee.
Yeah.
And so I broached the subject. So one meeting and potentially two trustees.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're transitioning from being on the board of ESS and the board of other schools out there in Brattleboro.
Oh, you were on the board at EES?
Yes.
Early Education
Yeah,
Service.
it's on Canal Street.
I worked there for
Okay,
about 9
with
years.
Deborah and all them.
Yeah, oh, that's
And then
wonderful.
same thing up on Green Street in Oak Grove.
Well, that's wonderful. That's really a great background.
Yeah.
Yeah, Early Education Services is the early Head Start
Yeah.
provider in Lincoln County.
And Laura will be doing next Saturday. She'll be doing a childbirth class here at the library too.
Cool. Great. What's her background and
She's trained in
I'll let her
midwife.
do it, I guess.
Yeah.
I get excited.
We'll interrogate her when she gets in.
She'll just have to repeat herself.
Great.
All right.
I
She'll
couldn't
just
do
have
it
to
justice, trust me.
Thank you.
So let's move on to approving the minutes for June 11th. Any questions, concerns on those?
That's the one.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for June 11th meeting.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. Let's go to Joel. June 19th meeting.
I did not pass those around
Yeah.
because it was only
It's
a
very brief.
motion and it's very brief and it's just felt that it was a waste of paper. There's not much to it, other than mentioning who's here. The meeting began at 12:03 and then I made a motion, Jody made a motion for signing on the bank accounts, and that's it.
And then, as it turned out, we really didn't need a minute.
Do we need to make a motion to pass this?
I think so.
6, 7, yeah.
Make a motion to pass this, the Wednesday, June 19th meeting minutes?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously. That. Financial reports.
I'll tell you, the community bank is having some computer issues right at the moment, and it really makes life difficult for Carol. Because we couldn't get her the checking account statement for June until, like yesterday, the day before.
Oh, wow.
Today's Tuesday, yesterday, and it was a temporary, and they finally actually posted them today, the official. So she's now got the official, but she was working on temporary, I'm sure, all evening and last night to do the ledger and everything. Is there a ledger ready and available or not yet?
Yes, I think I have to print the updated one to go with the receipts, because I just got the bill from the town for the health insurance and all of that, which is included in the other reports. I just forgot to update that one, but I can print that out for everybody.
Okay, so you're talking about the whole ledgers that we go through each month and look at, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the individual,
The
receipts that
folder.
we normally check off.
There.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kathy
okay.
has a folder.
It's there.
That
Okay.
is there, it just doesn't have the town of Dover one, which is
Okay.
backed into June because of the June
Okay.
expenses, so.
Terrific. So I will look at it. It would be very nice to have at least one other person look at it.
Yeah.
And check, and if there's anything that crops up, we can ask about it. I think that, and since this is my last meeting, because I'm leaving Dover and moving to Wilmington, this is a great thing to continue doing, to find a new treasurer. And yeah, the pieces that are put in place really due to Jody's time on the board are really important to keep going.
Yeah.
So you really do need a treasurer. Responsibilities, I do a deposit about twice a month with the monies that come in here, whether it's donations, coffee, donations. And so there's cash and there's change to be dealt with. There's money transfers to do from the money market account. I try to do that once a month with one big amount at the beginning of the month. But sometimes it's not enough, particularly for the month of June. Apparently, it was about twice what it usually is, year end and summer programming. And this time there was also education, the convention the staff is going to, that was significant, having to do with lodging and everything. I think that's about it for responsibilities that pass on. Just security is a pain in the neck for me as an oldster, getting into the bank accounts and all of that. But you know, that's the way it is today.
Do you have somebody else set up with the Vermont Community Fund also?
At this point, I don't think so. No, I haven't got with that.
Okay.
So that will have to be dealt with.
The treasurer does deal with the reserves and operating expenses and everything, or is it just approving?
I deal with everything. You know, the reserves, we haven't done anything with reserve money at this point, really, or, you know, the treasurer of the board, it's really the board, all these decisions are the board.
Sure.
I don't move money except for handling expenses.
Okay.
Anything else is approved. In a board meeting. And we have two people on all the time, so as far as signers, so I'm not the only one who has access, the chairperson also has.
Anybody have any questions on the balance sheet or? Stand up.
What was the grant again? Which one is that?
Rotary,
Oh, okay. that's right.
yeah, $1,500 from Rotary.
Oh, it says 1,018 on one 409 for income. Is that?
Oh, well, we actually haven't even gotten the check yet for Rotary. We spent the money.
So
but
that's
we
a
haven't
different
gotten the
grant. That's
reimbursement.
the,
That is, we haven't gotten the summer programming grant yet, but we got a letter saying we are going to receive it.
oh, great.
Yeah.
How much is that?
300.
Okay, good.
So that covers the cost of the performer that we had for the party the other night, the other day. So,
The interlibrary loan.
interlibrary loan, probably last year's summer reading grant too. And that's probably both of them together. Is the 1,018.
The budget versus actuals. Then how did we end up? We actually ended up, let's see, we budgeted 261 and we spent 210, almost 211,000. So we ended up with 50,200 left over. So we had 19%, 19.23. I'm looking at total expenses on the back here.
Yeah.
So even with all the extra expenses, professional fees, cleaning fees, equipment and things that we have done to improve the library, we still came in under budget, which is to me pretty impressive.
A lot of that is salary. There's $20,000 in salary that was left because you didn't have a director for
Okay, a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can take 20,000 over that 50.
And
But
then
we
some of
still,
it is the health insurance, right?
And your HRA
Yeah.
had
And our
24,000 and change.
that we, you know,
Unexpended.
we didn't expect to use it, but like that money always goes, and that come budget time, just keep in mind that that was that 51,000 was the health and disability insurance 5131. We budgeted $51,018. And that was 50% of what the town, the 100% that the town was budgeting at one time. Both the town and we, I believe, went to 50%. I know we went to 50%.
They did too. That's
Okay,
why
they
we-
did
we
too,
did.
right.
That's what they
So,
did.
but even with going to 50%, we still ended up with $23,000 left over. So just information for you to keep in mind when budgeting time comes up. Because we will have more staff development that we'd like to keep going, I presume.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think our professional fees will be the same because we've gotten through most of the litigations, and well, depends on how the case goes. But I think the town is, and the town's insurance, we're insured through them. So we should be okay. And, you know, the cleaning, we want to keep up the cleaning. That's a whole lot more than it used to be. And just things to keep in mind.
One thing that we do need to address was Jeanette reached out to me and she needs to know about what we are doing for salaries in this fiscal year that we are in right now, starting July 1st. And if we are doing any cost of living raises this year. I seem to remember when we did the budget that we did build in cost of living raises. Jody isn't sure, and I don't have any sort of paperwork reflecting any conversations that we had about that. So,
Okay, so I'll go, and you've looked at minutes.
I've looked at minutes and I've looked at like just emails that we sent back to each other when we were doing that, and I don't have anything. So
I think we.
I think it would be nice to give them anyway, even though we don't have it, but, or even though we don't know we did it, I believe we did build that into the salary column, but like I said, I didn't do the calculations on the
Yeah, I
salary.
think we, I need to go back and look then. I'm sorry, I know time is, I know you mentioned it and I said you were gonna talk to Jody. So
Yeah,
didn't
I talked
do
to Carol
anything.
and Jody and neither of them, Carol wasn't part of the
Yeah,
the budgeting
I think
process.
we gave you, I believe we gave the staff an increase to take effect July 1. So
Yeah.
that would, and that was, I don't know, I think that was around 3% or something.
I don't have that, so that's not applied yet, but we haven't had a payroll for that yet, so. Whatever that
Okay.
is, I wasn't
Oh,
given
so
that.
you don't know?
No, I never
yeah.
got anything on that, so I need that as soon as possible.
Okay,
And so does Jeanette, because she has to report to Blue Cross Blue Shield.
okay, so, let me make a note.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like
I'll
it
need
used
that
to be
for
based on the
Monday for
town.
payroll
Yeah,
processing.
there
Now
was,
things are a little bit different now because it is separate, but.
Yeah. No, I feel like we talked about that.
we
when
did.
Yeah,
It
that we
must
were
be
just,
and-
I think Jeanette said, I don't have my email on my phone. But I think Jeanette said that they were doing 3%.
That's what, top of my head tells me. So.
Laura Matero's here now as well. Just in case Mr. walking in.
I'm good, how are you?
So John, Diane coming up.
Laura, nice to meet you. Laura, nice to meet
We
you.
met at school, and learned, I'm not all bundled up now.
What's everybody's position on the board? Everybody's position on the board?
Oh, I'm treasurer.
Not
Was-
just.
And you're our longest serving board member.
Yeah. I'm
I'm sorry?
more serving, and I used to be.
No, I do the bookkeeping directly for the library. Ask them to do the minutes so that they are more free to have the conversations than.
I was just saying, Allison's the director.
And our house just went under contract and we're closing July 31.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which
So-
means as a board member, if I in fact move, which I expect will come together, I can no longer be a board member.
The trustee or just the treasurer?
There's one open position that's gonna be second open position.
Oh, man.
And
Yeah,
one of those is gonna hopefully be a treasurer.
My daughter found that house. We didn't even find it. She called me and said, there's a house in Wilmington I think you'd like. And it had just barely come in the market. I haven't even seen it.
Where is it?
Just before you get to Wilmington, you like this a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah, Lyle, okay. I'm like, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
So,
why?
so it's all come together very.
That's a good spot though. That's like right within walking distance.
Of everything.
Yeah.
That was the point. Size of our current house.
Garage sale.
Yeah.
Oh, that,
I was
oh.
at the garage.
I-
sale.
And you said that it sold, your house sold?
It's under contract.
That's amazing. That was fast too.
Yes, it was.
I get alerts on like when all the houses go up, like.
Yeah, it's really the first person that we've done it. So, the contingency is they have, if for some reason they want to back out because of the. If it fails, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I've seen all the signs. So.
back to business.
Yeah. Questions, comments, anything anybody's concerned about?
The other mention is that Carol and I have been talking about the Vermont Community Foundation, which
Yeah,
only gives us quarterly official statements, and they come like a month and a half late, so we don't usually get them until the second or third month after the quarter ends. So you know, that will be you'll hear about it 4 times a year, but it'll be like at least 2 months at the end of the quarter. Yeah, but they have a lot of different investments. So that's the Vermont Community Fund, which is currently at about 35,000 plus. It is marked here on the balance sheet at the bottom. Right now, what we know, it's $35,609.48. And that is meant for, there was no strings attached to it. There was a discussion when the money was originally given, like in 2017, I think 16 or 17, that it be considered for scholarship money, perhaps for a high school student going on. We talked about building improvements. We talked about a bunch of other outreach to the community, but so far we've just left the money there.
Actually, I do have a question. On the last meeting, we talked about changing the name of budget surplus to reserve funds. That still needs to be done, I think.
It is done on the
Other one.
fiscal 25 stuff.
Okay.
It was just, we
This
kept
is
it until the end,
general.
so July 1st, those
Got it.
changes were made.
Thank you. Perfect.
Sure,
Yeah.
yes.
any more questions, concerns, anything else? Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to pass the financial reports.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Moving on to old business. First thing on the list is painting. Do we have any?
So the original person that Jody had talked to, it hasn't come by to look at it.
Okay,
I am talking to Andy, who does Tech Time with Andy. He also does painting, and
yeah,
he's gonna look at it on Thursday when he comes.
Great.
So hopefully,
Is he insured?
I believe he is. I'll ask him.
Does he have a business name?
If he does, I don't know what it is. But
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah, that's my only concern is
Yeah.
we have to hire somebody that
Mhm.
has a formal business as opposed to informal
Mhm.
and
You
insured.
do?
Yeah, well, you're a public building, so if something happens.
As long as they're insured.
yeah, as long as they're insured.
Yes, they have to be insured, that's right.
So yeah, I'll ask him about it, but, yeah, so he's gonna take a look at it on Thursday. Make a note to ask him about insurance. And then, oh, sorry, so that's what I got, that's my update on painting.
Alright. Cool. So we'll bring that up again next meeting to see updates.
Hopefully I'll have a couple quotes for you guys by then.
All right, next on the agenda, we have the website.
So I've tried to get in contact with Meg McCarthy and I haven't gotten a call back from her. So I am up in the air right now. I'm trying to call her to let her know that we're going in a different direction and haven't heard back from her.
Can you email her?
I will, yeah. I thought it would be nicer to do it
It would be.
over the phone.
Yeah.
So
Maybe something's wrong with your phone. Maybe you could just email
Yeah.
and say I'm trying to reach you.
So I'm confused,
As
I
of
keep
now.
thinking this was taken care of months ago.
we, at the meeting last month, we decided to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
So, yeah. And Jody asked me to contact her. So,
Other than that, the website's running fine, right?
everything's running fine, everything is up to date.
Oh, I
and
did
then-
notice one thing, I was on it last night. It had like a March, on the open page, the first page, something that happened in March, and it was up in the middle of the night. So I don't know how often you go in there and take out, it was like a group meeting or something, you know,
On the events.
it's right on the homepage.
So when you open it up on the homepage, there should be pictures, and then on the side, there's an events.
No,
thing
so
that-
then it wasn't that page, so maybe it was under the events, but there was
Oh,
something
okay.
from March.
All right, I'll look at
And
that.
there was something from June, so I guess it's not totally,
Okay,
Just
Um,
curious, is that,
but I know it's just the beginning of July, so, but
okay,
anything in June, I can appreciate you might not have gotten to, but I was just wondering about that.
okay.
I'm also,
Did somebody verify when you're switching the website stuff, who owns the domain? Does Meg own it or does?
I don't believe Meg owns that. I believe we own it. Because she was contracted to design the website. She hosts the website, but we believe, we know it is, Jody's son looked into it and it is registered under John's name. So,
So that needs to be updated. In the process of all
very good. It's very hard to change it from out of somebody else's name. So I tried to change it. It gets I think every 5 years. ICANN goes through and updates it and like to ask if your information is all the same. And that should be happening next year. So I'm hoping that will be the point where I can actually make it change it to my name, or at least like, yeah, I think it has to have a person, a physical person, not just a business name. So,
oh,
you know, because we're not all robots back here doing subversive work in libraries. But I'm hoping when they'll actually reach out and say, is this all correct still? And then I can be like, no, it's not. Because
Yeah.
I do get John's email.
Does that mean he'd be able to, like, hey, I own this?
He might
It's
be
under
able
my
to.
name.
He might be able to. I mean, he shouldn't, but I also don't know if he could.
He probably doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He might not.
So I just looked up the who is on it.
Yeah.
So it's is John own Two Cows Domains Inc.? 'Cause that's the register
Yeah.
of it. And so if you contact Two Cows Domains Inc., you should be able to change the registrant contact information to whoever.
Yeah.
So the registrant contact is John, but that's an easy change.
Yeah.
It's the register themselves who's that Two Cows.
Okay.
who's two cows?
No
Two
clue.
T-U-C-W-S.
Might be. Okay. I'll look into this more.
And Meg McCarthy does have her name on the name servers. So
Yeah.
It's on her servers, so it
Yeah.
just have to be moved off her servers.
Yeah, we are going to be using HostGator
Okay.
instead.
What do we need to do to get that?
To move it,
Yeah.
all I have to do is I can do it on the back end of our website that
Okay.
we change. I can change the administrator and the host and everything on the website, and then I just sign up for the hosting platform. I'll transfer it over.
Does that sound like you get done?
I can do it. It's like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I guess an email and then let's move
That's,
ahead.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm
Yeah,
at right
sure.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if she saw the last minutes last month's meeting, notes. That's why she doesn't want to call me back. Anyway,
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, so we'll table that for now. Bring up next meeting just to see if It's transferred. And all that, that's
Yeah.
moving and all that. Okay, next up, we have the open trustee position, which here is interested in. You've all been interested in that.
Assuming she hasn't gotten scared off today.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
don't rush it
impressed.
through
She knows everything computer stuff.
We're kind of.
Do you have any questions for the board right now, or?
No. I've sat in enough board meetings with this guy, so,
Yeah.
and all the boards he's on, so.
Is there a letter of interest or anything that we received?
Not yet. I was gonna ask her to. send
I was
that
gonna,
out today.
sit and then kind of just.
Yeah, I
Oh,
wanted to see if she
okay.
was interested first
You're here to observe.
before
Yeah,
asking her
yeah, and then
to,
if
to submit that.
you all like me and I
Terrific.
like you, then I'll submit a letter.
Okay. Terrific.
Does anybody have questions for her?
Yeah, so I guess, go ahead, tell us about yourself, your background, and, you know, why you might be interested and any skills you think you have to offer.
Yeah.
We're interested to hear. And I'll turn around.
So I'm Laura. I live right up the hill here, pretty much right across the street from the school. Let's see, came to Vermont constantly as a child. I was one of those, annoying Mount Snow Academy kids for many years. And finally got my family, convinced this guy to get a job in Mount Snow, and moved up here. Let's see, I am currently a student of midwifery, so learning about how to deliver babies and all that kind of fun stuff. I'll actually be hosting a childbirth education course here on the 20th. It's gotten a lot of interest actually from BMH. BMH is like, oh,
Great.
yeah, so they want to, if they like
Take
it,
advantage of your services.
yeah. And they were like, yeah, if they like it, they're like, maybe we could just send people up here. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
I'm welcome to this library. That'd be fantastic. Avid reader. Let's see, I'm trying to think. My favorite book is kind of a silly book from when I was a kid called Unicorn Mountain by Michael Bishop. Amazing book. If you've never read it, highly recommend it. It's out of print, so if you can find it, go for it.
How about your other background work-wise, and then, you know, what you thought you might be able to contribute to the board? Obviously, I already picked up on computer skills.
Yeah. Love computers, love doing any kind of, I really like doing like a lot of art stuff on the computer. So flyers, printouts like that. I've designed my own websites, so I can do website design and stuff like that as well. Love kids. I have 2 daughters, one who's currently harassing Kendra over there, and the other one who's over at the Mount Snow daycare. And I guess he counts as a 3rd kid, right? At times. Let's see. I've always, one of my sort of a skill, but I find myself to be a really, I've always been told, I shouldn't say I find myself, because I don't, but I've always been told I'm a very good writer. And that people are always drawn in by what I have to write and what I have to say. So that always makes me good. Let's see. I wish you were talking about my skill set, because I'm like, I don't think I'm skilled at all.
Well,
And then people are always like, you are, you
Yeah.
have plenty of skills.
Well,
Don't
what
say that
did you
about
do
yourself.
before you went into midwifery?
So I was a birth doula for 10
Ah.
years, started my own business, highly successful doula business that I ran out of in San Diego, where I would attend upwards of 40 births a year, which is pretty high for a doula. Most doulas attend about half that. And that wasn't, that wasn't including any of the volunteer work I did. I volunteered at nearly every single hospital in San Diego. There's about 11 of them. So I would volunteer just whatever time I could, helping, either cuddling NICU babies, volunteer doula stuff, just, childbirth education.
before that, let's see, I was pretty much just, putzing around trying to figure out what to do. No, I was originally going to school back when I was 18 and I thought I knew what I wanted to do. Going to be an art teacher. And I took one art history education class and figured out I didn't know anything about art history, and I didn't know how to study art history or even where to begin, because that is hundreds and thousands of years of stuff I had no idea about. So it kind of makes that right in the bud there. About myself.
That's great. Thank
That's
you
a
for
lot
all
more
of
than I
that.
gave him.
Well, I guess where I was
Put you on
going
the
too,
spot.
have you served on any other boards, anything like that?
I haven't served on boards, but this guy has, and I have sat there and whispered in his ear and been like the woman in the background, you know.
Not supposed to work that.
I know. Very good countries run that way, though, let's be honest. You know, he's got the woman in the guy's ear. No, but he's served on a bunch of boards, and I always sit there watching the meeting and like I'll write notes. And I'm like, why didn't you bring this up? Why didn't you talk about this? This was something somebody said and it was not right.
Yeah.
This is not legal. Like, and he'll sit there and he'll be like, I can't bring this up. And I'm like, I will. He's like, no, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up.
Okay. Well, thank you for all that information.
Yeah.
If you're still interested, send me an email and then I can spread it out to the rest of you, or I shouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
And you know, we meet once a month as a rule, and we seem to be getting back to that after having a year of difficulties and too many meetings. So I think that'll settle out.
Yeah, and
That
that's
has settled out already, so.
Yeah, I just had to bring my daughter to a pediatrician appointment this morning, which was supposed to be at 10, and they didn't see us until 11. So
Yeah,
that's
that's how that goes.
Yeah.
that was a whole other thing.
Well, once we get that email from her, and then I guess the next meeting we can vote on whether we want to. Do we want to have a special meeting? Rather not, but to recommend her before the town. To make
I don't think we have to have a meeting to do that, do I?
I don't know.
No, you don't have to have a meeting. If
Okay.
you,
Perfect. So, once we get that letter from her, we can figure out.
Do we want to?
And we did advertise too, right?
Yes,
Did we
were
advertise?
there any other interest?
Yeah, Dale's, she said she couldn't
Yeah.
make the meeting, and then somebody had mentioned to me separately that Scott Salway's wife, I forgot her name,
Danielle.
might be interested,
Oh,
which
so
would actually be a really good opportunity if she's interested in being a treasurer.
yeah.
For her work background,
I don't know, maybe we.
but
But yeah,
Maybe
we're
we
going
should
to have another position to
reach
fill.
out.
So,
Yeah.
So do we want to keep the ad going? I gotta admit, didn't see it. Where did it go in?
I gave it to Jeanette.
Yeah.
So,
Did it go in the Valley News?
no, it didn't go in the Valley News. It went,
The town site.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So locals have seen it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to put it in the Valley News or just keep it on the Dover website?
I would say we'll keep it on the Dover website and then,
They keep it posted since there's still a
Yeah.
position, it's gonna be open.
Public, the treasurer position.
But I think the board decides who's the treasurer, right? So
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
think
we
it's
just
just a
start
matter-
advertising. for
We
it.
just need to advertise
Yes.
for the open position on the board, and then they would be elected as treasurer.
Well, someone would be elected, whoever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is
yeah, it could
willing
be
to
anyone that's
consider-
already here.
Whoever is willing to
Mhm.
consider it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Laura, what you want to say?
Material.
It all affects Sam's maps.
Yep.
And the coffee table is more of
I-
like organizing,
Yeah,
basically.
I don't have any, I don't have any,
Okay.
I don't have any
Nothing
organization
new.
updates.
All right.
I reached out to the guy Jody recommended, he hasn't come by. Yeah, but
Okay.
he'll come by sometime and take
And
a
that's for
look.
out there with the chairs.
That's, yeah, the coffee tables for out there and then, also talking about, adding in some other stuff
Oh, right in the
in the
office.
office.
Yep.
So,
Okay. You want to bring that up next meeting again?
yeah,
or-
sure, I'll put a bug in his ear, and hopefully he'll have something that like we could talk about monetarily.
Great.
Okay, so. On to new business, the video and audio recording requirement. When I looked into it, it is at the state level where video is required. Municipality level, it can be video or audio.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you guys want to decide to do only audio or if we want video as well. Because our minimum requirement is audio.
I guess I kind of prefer just audio. I mean, I really love.
Yeah.
But
We
I
still
don't
have
know if
to,
it's-
I think,
is it beneficial to,
Yeah.
to people to have it video or?
don't think so. That's just my personal opinion, that I think audio is fine, we meet the requirements. Anybody who's interested can listen into it. I'm not sure how a video element would enhance that much.
Yeah, I would
Yes.
rather just do audio. That sounds good to me, but.
So
Allison,
to-
how do you feel?
that's fine with me. By tomorrow, we should have a fancy new Bluetooth speaker will sit right in the middle of the table, but
And that will
Amazon will
just,
slap
and
it
that'll
over.
just be the audio.
That-
and
yeah.
that's- Okay, yeah.
it'll hook right up to
Do we
the,
have to vote on that or?
That's what I'm not sure on. Maybe
I don't
we
think you
should
have to vote on it.
just to make it official, so then there's, nobody questions it. If once we have a vote on it, then we say we voted on it, rather than, oh, were we supposed to or not?
Right, okay.
It's cut and clear.
Yeah,
All right, I'll make a motion that we are going to use audio as a means of recording.
I second that.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye. All opposed? Alright, passes.
Should I go get Kendra? Or the
Oh,
next-
Yeah.
Sure, I can go get her.
I don't mind getting up. It should be nice to.
For a second, yeah.
So these are the new chairs.
Yes,
Okay.
they're very they're very
They look.
cushy,
Yeah.
comfy. Alice and I put them all together. We didn't know they were coming.
I'll switch over and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An official report. from it.
Yeah.
All these- That memory foam?
I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
Right?
the finest of
That's cool.
Kayla.
Feeling molded.
Yes. And it's breathable backs for hot summer days.
That's it.
Here, I
Hi.
just got the email that this didn't come to everybody, so here's my report, sorry about that. I did swear I did it yesterday, I was at the Safe Light waiting room. and I didn't catch it. Okay. Oh,
Yes.
She is busy.
okay, here.
Yep.
Oh, but
All
it's
right.
one page.
It's only one page
You
because,
got it.
yeah.
Last time you went
I
over.
did go 2 pages last time, but yes, because, yeah, there's just a lot in motion at the moment.
I like
And,
that, you got the points.
Yes, so we've had so far super great participation in our summer reading program and getting that all off the ground and going. Not a lot happened right after the last meeting because we were kind of in the calm before the storm. The second bullet point's kind of really where I should have started. We had 41 total signups, which is an increase over the last 3 years. I did separate it out for you guys. It was 37 in our children's room program and 4 in our YA bingo. But because we kind of tweaked the age groups and we went with age range, anyone 0 to 13 could be in the children's room program, but then went with grade range for the YA bingo and gave kids the choice. it's not really a true direct comparison in the breakdown of the last teen program in the past and the children's program in the past, because they previously had used a pretty hard age 13 cutoff, but we switched to anyone in rising 7th graders and up could choose YA bingo, or they could choose to stay in the children's room program until they were 13.
And what did they choose? They mostly chose to stay in the.
It was of the kids that had the choice. It was, I think, about 4 kids off the top of my head, and it split down the middle.
Okay.
So 2 chose to go with the bingo option, and 2 chose to go with staying in the Mavericks group.
Nice.
So it seems like maybe that the choice was the right way to go.
Exactly.
And then we had our summer reading kickoff party, and it was fabulous. We had to pivot and do it inside, and although I had the key to the hall across the way just in case, we went with having it here inside the library.
That's great.
So yeah, and Diane was there, Richard was
Yeah, it was great.
there for setup and whatnot.
We fixed the button machine.
We did get the button machine
Nice.
fixed.
Cool. All
I
right,
put
we'll talk
Katie-
about that
I
later.
put Katie on the job. I was like, she'll be able to get to the bottom of
Yeah.
this. We had 45 attendees approximately. It was hard to keep track of everybody. And we did it after hours here in the library, so the kids were really able to spread out. And we had this room, we had our music performer in here, which was a little tricky because it's hard to get people, as with every event, if something's back here, people have to kind of commit to being in here or being out there. It's not as easy to come and go. But he had a good group of kids in here moving and grooving. And the face painting went over great. We had her set up in the children's library, and most of the kids got at least 2 different designs done. And they were phenomenal. And she was she was a great person. She worked really well with the kids. And then we had snacks that the library provided. We set that all up in the cafe. And May Oakley also made a huge platter of cookies. And that went over really well. And we had a wheel we could spin. So any kids that signed up, I kept track of the ones that didn't come, got to spin the wheel, and they either got a Dover Free Library hat, an adventure at your library, like the cinch backpacks, or a water bottle that's blue and it says adventure begins at Dover Free Library. And they were all very excited with what they got. And if they wanted something else, those are also included in the raffles that we're doing for it. So they can always choose it if they win. And then by the end, the finale raffle, when we're just doing a raffle bonanza, everyone will end up with them. So it went really great. It had great feedback, and a lot of people signed up at the time. And it was great to have face-to-face time with a lot of the parents. The kids were all really busy, but we got to really explain what's different about the program this year and how it's working. And everybody seems a little convoluted, but it seems like once I explain my reasoning for each thing, like that, you don't have to bring it back at a specific schedule. Just bring it in when you come in to get your raffle tickets. It all started to click for everybody, so that was good. We had our first program officially was Prepare for Fun, and it was in here. And I had Mike Porter, who's the ski patrol director at Mount Snow, come do a safety talk. We brought in bikes and helmets and his hiking bag, and he borrowed his kids' hiking bag. And he had a whole slideshow presentation, so it was a really interactive, hands-on experience, teaching about, just preparing for hiking, the kind of both ends of the spectrum of not bringing enough stuff with you, but also bringing too much stuff with you. Like kind of how do you decide what gear you need for what kind of environment? The safety, like sunscreen and bug repellent and tick checks. All the kids got to practice putting a chain back on the bike if they wanted to. He deflated all the tires, and they checked the air pressure, and they pumped them back up. Yeah, it was really good. And they all got to ask questions, and they got to, like spitball answers. And so it was a really good conversation. And they all tried on helmets and talked about like why this isn't a good helmet for you because it doesn't fit or it's too small, it's too wiggles all around. The importance of having them latched and latched properly. So I think it was really good to hear that from someone they view as an authority on safety, because like he is known to most of the kids in town. He's done similar talks for the school at winter time about winter sports stuff. So I have informed him he is now officially our summer tough guy. He's he's been assigned, so it was really good. And then me and May got out there and set up the story stroll and got that set up just in time for the summer concerts to start. And I personally have just been at the playground as a civilian and seen it, like both passing adults stopping and reading the story. It's a great story. If you get a chance to go over there, you can check it out in the kids room. It's what to do with an idea. And then we did an actual like organized story time where we met there. And we had one family that is here for like a month that they came to one of the library explorers and then followed it up by also attending the story stroll. And then we had another family that just happened upon my story stroll story time. And then at that, I was able to tell them about the next upcoming library explorers, and they did attend. So, and they're a family with a second home up here. So, and I was able to, point out at the end, and that's our Dover Free Library, little free library right over there. We always keep it stocked with like the info of what's going on, or, so it was really good to snag people who maybe wouldn't make their way out of Westover otherwise.
Question.
Yes.
So I haven't looked at the story walk since last year, and I don't really recall.
I got out there with a saw and cut it down, so now the kids can actually see the pages.
That's great.
That's the big difference.
Right, but the other thing, is there something there that says it's by Dover Free
Oh, yes.
Library and the hours and things like that?
It doesn't say like the hours and whatnot. I do plan, I dropped the ball on having like the QR code. But it does say that it's part of our thing, and it advertises when the organized structured ones are. And then also because in order to use the story walk trademark, it has a little thing that says like the that they require, or otherwise we'd have to like never say the word story trademark. And yeah, so it doesn't have, we didn't have enough posts to do too many info ones, but what I meant to do, and I forgot, was to do like the QR code that can link so people could just go right to our website.
I'm realizing at Dots Dover, there's the little free library and a container underneath it.
Yep.
Where should we do something like that? Just have a container attached to a post,
I could order
something
another
to
one.
consider.
It is only up for the month of July. It's not, my goal is in future
Yeah.
years, but we weren't totally sure of how sturdy everything was. That was something Shannon had mentioned. She said that in past they've only done it for the month of July. And she wasn't sure if everything was going to be sturdy enough to last in other types of weather.
Yeah, that is true. It wouldn't last.
There are,
It's not up in August.
Historically, it wasn't.
they do make ones that are metal, that are designed to be permanently installed. We had them done at Petty. We had them put around the outside of the building
Right.
with a grant they
The
got.
story walk one.
Yeah, and they are fantastic. They're expensive,
Yeah.
but they're fantastic.
Well,
And I think if we were going to think about doing something a little more year round, that we should invest in something like that as
Yeah.
opposed to the just wooden only.
Because I do think it would be a
structures.
really great thing, even if it wasn't during actual, like, if we did it from snow melt to snowfall. I think it would get a lot of use, and I think that I would hope the town would get on board, because I think it would bring a lot of families back to the playground that maybe have tired of the playground.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it might have been up to early August. The reading program went to early August. Everything finished up around the 7th.
When I emailed Shannon at the town to get it approved, she said that they've only ever done it from July 1st to July 31st.
And that was the first year, so.
No, it's been several years.
It seems,
Wasn't last
I've
year
always
the
walked the Valley
second year?
Trail regularly, and it seemed like there were multiple stories that were going on. I don't know how quickly they rotated
Yeah.
how many stories they used, but it does seem longer to me. I guess maybe my memory is lapsed, but
They might have changed it every week, so maybe it was like
it might
4
have
stories.
been, but
Well,
It
who
seems to me
they?
that
I
it was
thought
longer than
I
just
thought
one
that
month.
was the children's library.
Bottom line.
Is somebody else putting it?
No, I mean, Boudreaux might have changed it,
Yeah,
like
but at
previously.
any rate,
Seems
just
like it was
food
a
for
summer.
thought for down the road.
Yeah.
Could it be like another month there, or is it too
Well,
much?
I have no problem doing it in another month. I would have to email the town and get them to okay it. Yeah. Because the previous, I don't know if I've missed their meeting going forward, but it's the economic development.
Shannon just left, I started coming in here.
Yeah. And we already have more books. But knowing that I was only doing it for the 2 when I planned it out, I didn't reach out like to the state story walk lending library or anything like that. Because my second story is actually the thing that I'm posting is going to be with the Dover School Club. I always call it the Dover School Club, the Dover School Camp, where me and May are going there tomorrow, and the next Wednesday, the first time we visit, we'll be writing the story, and the second time we'll be visiting for them to illustrate the story, and then we'll be putting that up so it'll be displayed during Blueberry Fest. So
At the town park. Is that
yeah,
what
so we'll be
it's
taking
about?
out the
Excellent.
existing story and putting out the original
Well,
content
that's
story.
great.
Yeah, so
Nice.
thinking that both that will be exciting for the kids to go and bring their families and get there, but then also because of how much traffic that area gets, that would be a good little PR to have
Yeah.
original content. So, I mean, my brain has, for this year, I like, my goal is definitely to extend it and to have it be more of a long-term thing, because I think it is awesome. And I want to get like the kids out there earlier and later into the spring and fall. But I think this year, with everything I have going, that maybe this month of July might be the best fit for me staying on track with all my other things and not going off on a tangent. But yeah, it's gone really well. And then I also, when we were putting it up, we ran into one of the OEC Mount Snow Camp groups. And the kids were super interested in like, what are you doing? What's going on here? And so I told them all about it. And I actually emailed leadership at both the daycare and the camp, because both of the oldest kids at the daycare, the Owls group, would use the mover to travel about and go on excursions, as well as OEC, to let them know about my story walk and to let the story time version of it, and to let them know like they're more than welcome to come. And if they give me a heads up, I can absolutely make sure I have plenty of snacks for everybody, because that would be like, you know, an extra 20. If both groups came, to be an extra like 30 kids. But because of it, me having not pre-planned for that, 9 o'clock was not a good fit for them, because they're still doing their drop-offs. But they were like, we wish we could get to the library on the mover the same way that they take it, because especially this year, they don't have the Twin Valley Playground, which they used to go to a lot, and stuff. So they were just, you know, expressing that if there was a mover stop here, it would be really cool for them to take advantage of. So that is exciting stuff. And we did our raffle for our first week and went super fabulous. And the breakdown of how many kids are in each group, 0 to 5, we pulled 2 winners. I didn't write down how many kids are in each group. I know in the Trailblazers, we have 21 kids, so we pulled 3 winners, and Mavericks is only 3 kids, so we just pulled 1 winner.
What kind of prizes?
So they have like a whole shebang to pick from. Both my explorers picked the Welly Band-Aids, both winners there. They could have picked bubbles. The hat, the water bottle, and the bag is always an option, because we have plenty of those. Books, and I have more books coming for the raffling at the end. The Trailblazers, one of them picked a American Girl book. One of them picked, I don't know what the other picked actually. I didn't check in yet. Has Austin come in? Austin didn't come yesterday.
I didn't, not before I left.
Yeah, and then the third one is Celia. So only one of our Trailblazers has come and picked, and she picked a book, and it was Laura's daughter. And some of the choices for the others that are there is there's a few more books. There's sunglasses. There's activity books. I have a whole like post a picture of the whole thing done nicely in a little photo shoot that I did, and I'm looking at the picture in my head. Goggles. Yeah, so like that kind of stuff. And then the oldest, she also picked a book, but she could have picked $10 gift certificate to Bartleby's, or the bag, hat, or water bottle, and maybe sunglasses for them as well, I think. But there's different prizes. So then next week, all of the prizes that didn't get picked will still be available, but I'll add in a few more that are related to the week. So next week is backyard journeys. And so the little kids are gonna get a little bug vacuum, it sucks them up. The library explorers next week is bugs as their theme. And then what I'm adding to the trailblazers is binoculars. And what I'm adding to the big kids eludes me. I think it's a shark, big shark float, pool float. And then, so like, as things are picked, they get, and then anything that's left at the very end will all just be part of my massive raffle-a-thon, where we just keep calling names till everybody has prizes. Just don't tell them that's what's happening. But then, and then the books that I ordered are all like books you wouldn't really find here. They're the, you know, all the TV show themed characters that are like, you know, kind of the thinner books, the Scholastic flappy copies with like Gabby's Dollhouse and Bluey and all the stuff that you probably would see at the store, and then they'd be like, I want that. And I'm like, no, we don't need that. And I'm like, here you go. Here's a book. So that is going great. And everybody's getting the hang of it. And they get raffle tickets for attending the programs as well. So everybody came to prepare for fun. And everybody who signed up and came, other people can come. Anybody can come. That's like of the age group, but you only get a raffle ticket if you're enrolled in the program, the summer reading program. My long game on that is to make sure our numbers are up over years, because everyone will know, like, got to get my sign up in or I'm gonna miss out. And then we already talked about that me and May are going to camp over at school. And then Kids in the Country has been able to bring over some of their older kids in small groups when they have staff. They haven't brought any of their littles for the reasons that have been ongoing, that they're staffing plus routine plus concerned about being able to manage the kids when they're in the library. But the older kids have been coming over, especially when there's nap time over there, and it's like the kids that are like well beyond nap time. They've been coming over and doing friendship bracelets, Legos, just general crafting. There's been some artistic masterpieces. My board behind my desk is filling up with all sorts of beautiful things that they are gifting me. And then
That's fantastic.
It
So
is,
you
yeah.
really started that, and that's the whole idea. And I really do think years ago it was before the kids were, when my kids were little. I think they did have to be like at least 3 years old or something to come into the library.
Yeah.
So that they, and you know, it was more listening to a book. At this point, they're crafting, so that, you know, their activity. So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's almost unscientifically, almost every single kid that comes in, whether they beeline for the craft table, and then when they're done with that, they trickle around. Every single one of them is taking at least 1 or 2 books off the shelf and looking in them and exploring them. So even if their first goal is craft table or computer, once the novelty of that wears off, they're looking around and going, oh, hey, look at all this stuff. So I think it's working. I think we're just getting them in the doors. And then other than that, I've had May building puppet theater things and starting friendship bracelets, and she's gonna be she doesn't know yet, but she's gonna be building some monster truck jumps today. So the other thing we did, thinking of May, we made a big banner, and as kids came to the program for the kickoff party, they put their handprints. And so that's what we're gonna carry in parade. We do that in a few weeks. And so there's gonna be handprints all over it. And then it's just we're really this week we're going into is kind of like the real heart of our programming. Like you were mentioning, we have a trivia night for teens tonight. Hopefully they'll come. And then tomorrow is the choose your own, and I've been spreading the word because I intentionally did my Trailblazer programming during the next 3 weeks to be at 3:30 in the afternoon, which that sounds like it wouldn't be a good time. The camp ends at 3 over there. And so I've been like planting the seed of like, oh yeah, like if you're grabbing your kids and a couple others because their parents can't pick them up, you can just come hang out at the library. Don't have to take them to your house and deal with all of that. You can just come hang out and come to this program, and then their parents can pick them up from you there. Like, you know, so that seems like we might get some good, like good, easy people through the door. And so that is all, well, there'll be a lot more because like I said, we're hitting the ground running this week.
There is so much going on.
Yeah, because it's all, trust me, all those gymnastics are happening, they're just inside my brain right now. They're all internal gymnastics.
They do a great job.
Yes.
No, she should be a children's book. It's mine. Can't have her.
That should be what?
Now we have the library purchase report.
Sorry, it's not
Oh,
as
it's back.
jazz handy.
Always a tough act to follow.
All right. But our patrons saved $289,000 this year just in books and DVDs. So, you know, that's pretty exciting.
You know, I think that's a great number to put out there. You know, so many people buy books apparently, and I guess I've never understood that. That's what libraries are for. And, you know, I don't know if in some report or something that you do to
It
the
would be-
town,
yeah.
just put it out there.
In the town
You
of
know, in
Morgan,
the
we can
past
go in
year, we
statistics
saved our
and
patrons
the annual letter.
this amount of money. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, what a shock.
Should go in the town report.
And it
can-
should go in the town report.
Yeah, we can
When you write the
absolutely,
letter to
I like
the
Yeah.
town people.
when we,
But it's some of these
Yeah.
statistics, yeah.
if we wanted to get a like, so a lot of libraries do the receipt printers instead of stamping the books. I hate receipt printers because I think it's just a waste of paper. And it's just another thing to have. But if we had one, it would say like, oh, today you checked out blah, 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 and that, and it's due, blah, blah, blah. And then at the bottom, it prints out like, today you saved $55 by coming to the library. Your total this year is, you know, blank. And yeah, so that's fun, but I don't
Yeah.
keep the idea of extra piece of paper because as soon as I get a receipt, I just crumple it up. and throw it
Right.
away. So we discontinued World Bank, which was what we were using for newspapers, for people to get newspapers online. I looked at the statistics a couple of months ago and we're literally only using the Brattleboro Reformer. That was all that was being used. There were a handful of contacts for like the Times Union in Albany, but not a lot. So I called up the Brattleboro Reformer and to see how much they would charge us for a library subscription. They're like, oh, it's free with your print subscription. And I said, oh, okay, yes, then sign us up for that. So,
Great.
so we discontinued Newsbank. The salesman was shocked that I would discontinue it. And I'm like, well, I can get something for free that you're charging me $2,600 a year for. It seems pretty brainless.
So it's not
to
like
me.
people are coming in to read the New York Times or the Washington Post or something
No.
like that.
No, and a
Yeah.
lot of the bigger newspapers aren't even available on it.
Yeah,
So,
you don't need it.
Good job, thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a
Thank
good
you.
call.
Yeah.
so, and then we also, Kendra and I decided to discontinue the subscription to World Book because nobody was using it. It hadn't been used since last year at some point. Even though she tried to do some stuff in the kids' room, like putting it on the computer and putting up signs about it. It just seems to be technology that people don't really use anymore. So we discontinued that. That was over $500 a year. So we're saving that money. There's a couple other little ones. We no longer subscribe to Netflix and stuff like that.
Cleaning it up.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm looking into is Ancestry. I think that would be fun to have. I think that would be useful. Maybe some language learning or something like that. There's also a new subscription for ebooks and audiobooks coming from Blackstone Audio, and they are a lot like the Hoopla model, except for it's one subscription fee. You don't have to pay per borrow like you do with Hoopla.
So we're
and,
gonna switch it over?
I don't know if we would switch over or just add in. Haven't seen the pricing yet.
Uh-huh.
So the salesperson for that, I've known for a long time, and he's been working on me for that. So I'm gonna let him work a little harder for it.
Could
Uh,
we get rid of Hoopla if we have that, if it's in, if it
We could
encompasses
theoretically,
everything?
we could
Oh,
theoretically,
please.
I don't know, like I said, he's only just, I see him at conferences, and he's like, oh, have you thought about switching over yet? And I'm like, well, you show me. So I'm told him, if you come by, you show me what it is, then,
Yeah.
I definitely might be interested. So,
So he has not come by.
he has not come by. Let's see. So that's one thing we might do. I got the Zoom account through TechSoup, so it was nice and cheap.
We got what?
Half price.
Yeah,
for
half
the
price.
Zoom
Yeah.
account.
So the Zoom account, so do we need Zoom because we do audio, but so we are still doing.
We still have to
Zoom.
do hybrid
People can go
meetings.
in.
Yeah,
Okay,
So the
got
hybrid
it.
meeting is still a requirement.
and we can
Okay.
do telephone only on Zoom, but
Yeah.
it's still the best way to get.
Yep.
Like teleconferencing.
Mhm.
And we've already paid for it for years.
Is Blackstone Audio the same as Blackstone Publishing?
Yes, it's owned by the same company. We're now getting our courier stop twice a week. It started yesterday. We're very excited about that. We got the Rotary grant. So the new chairs that I am sitting in and Laura's sitting in, they came disassembled. So Alice and I assembled them all together. It was a big pain in the neck.
Sturdy?
They're sturdy, they're
can get up,
comfortable, they're light,
Nice.
and they're stackable, so they don't take up too much space. And I was able to take those 2 big stacks of the outdoor chairs. They're outside now where they belong.
They're in the storage.
They're in the store. We have like 50 of them at least. So I don't know if we'll hold on to all 50, but for right now, they're keeping Dewey company out there in the shed.
Oh, and Dewey's out there.
Dewey's out
So
there.
that's interesting.
Dewey's looking out the window, so if you peek in the window of the shed, Dewey might scare the bejesus out
So
of
is
you.
the idea, what's your thought about Dewey?
Dewey,
Has had his day.
I think Dewey might move on. Nobody seems to miss Dewey.
Yeah,
Nobody
suddenly
seems to have
realized.
noticed
Dewey
that.
would fall over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little terrified of Dewey, I'm not gonna lie. I found him a little scary. Why does he always watch me wherever I go? He's always looking at me.
Well,
It's okay.
I think
Put him in retirement.
Yeah,
That's
he's in
fine.
the
if
retirement
you-
home
If you
back
think he
there.
needs to retire completely and,
Put him on
create
your
space in your shed,
Halloween
that's fine.
Yes,
On your
exactly.
steps.
He'll be a Halloween decoration from
Okay.
now
There
on.
you go.
Bring him up.
Once
Yeah,
a year, we have
so-
Robbie Bear still and his friends. so-
And yes,
Yeah.
and somebody tried to give me another large bear, and I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
no, thank you. No, we are too full of big bears.
One for every
Pretty
corner.
fine, which would be one of your.
Yeah.
Put it in the library of things.
Well, we have somebody who is coming and leaving little ceramic mice all over the library, and we
Really?
think we
That's
know who it
very
is,
sweet.
but we're not gonna tell her that we know it's her, because we think it's a fun game.
Yeah.
So she's hiding them she hasn't told us
So
she's
can
doing
we
it.
find them?
Yeah, if you want to, there's no prize or anything.
Maybe there should be.
Yeah, I'll give you some cheese.
How many?
We've found at least 3 of them.
Oh,
It seems
gosh.
like one appears every
That's
week.
They're
hilarious.
not that big. They're that big.
They're about that big,
Okay.
depending on the
Pretty
size.
small. Alright.
Yeah. So that's been interesting.
Nice.
New library mice.
that's A
Oh,
mystery.
I did take off the top of that cabinet and brought it home so that I could refinish it because it was in really bad condition. And the top of it cut my leg really badly, and I'm now scarred for life
But what
Be
you did with
prepared.
the
for my
the
loss.
shelving unit in the cafe is wonderful.
Yeah,
Boy,
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
oh, so we took, one, I took one of the old bookshelves that we had back here and I took it home and I refinished it and I rebuilt it so that the shelving is like display shelving and the newspapers live in
Oh,
the
great,
cafe
that's nice.
on there, and as also some of our swag, that's for sale.
Yeah, and it just fits there so nicely, and the color, it's sort of a gray color.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
actually, I use
really terrific.
I use some of the paint that Jody gave us, the leftover paint
Sample
samples.
paint, yeah.
Yeah, it used like,
Perfect.
it was perfect,
Yeah.
and I think it cost me like $5 in nails or
Thank you
something.
for your work.
And trim, the trim was $11. That was the most expensive part. I did it all myself, except for my husband cut the piece of wood for me because it's his tools and I'm not allowed to use that tool. The rest of them are mine. So I gave you all some of the statistics I have. I just was not able to finish adding them all in today before the meeting. I ran out of time. But I have all of the online stuff is on there. Circulation, I am gonna have a hard time retrieving. They don't have it all. Before we had Apollo, it wasn't as easy to retrieve from Destiny from our old catalog. So I don't have a lot of this information, like how many kids books, how many kids DVDs, just because those reports were really hard to get from that system. Somewhere there is information with circulation numbers from that time. I have to find it. It's somewhere. I know it is, but I will find it.
Is this something we want to put up on our website just so people can take a look, see what the library's up to?
Yeah,
We do.
absolutely. And I
What
will
you
do what I will do in the future now that I have this is quarterly. I'll bring this to the meeting and show you guys so you can look at it and then look at this year versus the next year and see what's going on. Because I mean, this is something that I've always done where I just have bless you, the spreadsheet so that it's easy to see. That didn't exist here. There was no sort of automated anything.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. So now I couldn't give you this for last year unless I sat there and spent hours going through each individual website to get the information. I don't think that's worth my time. But I can do it if anybody really desires it.
One really thinks for your work.
Yeah. But so yes, so I can you know,
I definitely think there's value in other people seeing this, the public seeing this, you know.
I'm excited about the circulation going up. We're doing pretty well with attendance going up. So I came on October 2nd. I did compile the statistics for September. So I know that those are correct.
Accurate.
Yes.
Accurate numbers based on real.
Yes. Real facts. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say,
They're factually based. The July and August from last year, the attendance, I'm not seeing how that is actually possible that we had 900 people come through the doors in July last year.
Because they weren't happy.
Yeah. Unless they were coming to trustee meeting all the time. But
July, August,
yeah.
both of, it kind of seems rather strange.
yeah, and from
Makes
what
a
I
lot of-
see from previous years, the numbers look like that a lot, like that 800, 900 mark. I just don't know how that is physically possible. So
the other numbers, you know, as you go down further, seem more realistic.
Right, yeah, they seem more on track with
Uh,
what we
so,
have
Yeah,
for everything else. So,
yeah, where we, and really, John left, the middle of July.
July
18th, yeah, and,
You got that
so,
in your memory.
yeah,
Mm.
so, yeah, I don't know where either of those numbers came
yeah.
from,
Let's
but anyway.
yeah. So I'm just
move
not,
on.
oh, yes, yeah, but I'm just saying,
It's good
I'm
that we'll
trying
have
to
good
keep it
numbers
as
from now on.
factual as possible for the future.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully by the end of this month, I will have this actually like populated with information. Because this all goes into the state report every year. So that was hard for me last year. Now it'll be easy for me this year to do.
Yeah. That'll be
Uh,
good information to have for the next town meeting.
yeah. And the compliance form will go up on the website today along with this recording. And that'll be easy for me. I'm just gonna pop it in right next to
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know about, there's one of the requirements for the new audio video requirements. You also have to post a form for if somebody has a complaint of or a concern that we're not meeting the requirements. So then they can submit that to the state or whoever is in charge of keeping track of all that. So we got a form for a model form from the LCT, and so just put our name on it basically, and so that will be posted wherever we on the website where we also post the recordings.
So the person can download it, fill it out and send it in.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it'll be a PDF, so it'll be
Yeah.
a fillable
Yeah.
PDF. So programs are going great. Lots of, as you saw from Kendra, lots of kids programs going on. We're about one every day for the month of July, every day that we're open at least. The discussion series went surprisingly well, and we had 11 people come the other night. I think we'll get more as the weeks progress. We were able to use some of our new technology, and one person did Zoom into the meeting. She couldn't be here, she's away, but she wanted to participate.
Well, that Zoom to multiple uses.
Yes, yeah, so it's worthwhile. This
That's
computer,
great.
this is our new computer. It is fantastic. I love it. I want to steal it for myself. Never let anybody else touch it. The classic movie series seems to be getting a lot of attention. I've been doing new movies on Mondays, and nobody seems interested in the new
It's tough.
movies.
It's like it's summertime.
Yeah.
It's the time of day. It's still early, right?
It's
Yeah.
4:00,
Yeah,
but
that's still.
but people are like, oh, the classic movies are at 2. I'm okay, all right.
Can we
I-
do the new movies in
The
the
movie
evenings since we're
Ezra
open
caught
till
my
8?
attention.
We could.
I think that was, you know,
We'd have to start
feedback.
them at like 6.
Yeah, that's fine. That was
yeah.
some feedback that I had from other people this
For
winter.
sure,
Yeah.
especially
And now that we actually are open,
Yeah.
daycare pickup now, so
I would love to
4:30 is
see.
gonna limit your people coming in at 4.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I noted that when I was looking at the website last night, that Ezra is coming up, and it's about a family with an autistic child, and I thought, I guess it's a comedy drama. That looked really good, so I put it on the calendar. I'm hoping to make it,
Great.
as
Great.
well as your your craft activity, doing the garden bricks.
Yes, I ordered. This is going to be
Oh, do
the
you-
cheapest craft that I'm doing this
If you need
summer.
bricks, I have some bricks.
Oh, you do? I did just order 10 from Home Depot. They're 68 cents a piece. So I felt really good about that pricing, but I do have to go all the way to Greenfield to get them. I didn't even think about it.
I'm there 5 days a week. I can pick them up, no problem.
I need to buy some paint for my house too.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, shoot me a text.
it'll be the, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
these are
think
all
about it when I
bricks,
was
so-
doing it. But Yeah, I put out a call on Facebook to ask people to donate bricks and I didn't get any responses.
Did you
So-
put it on the, was it the Buy Nothing Milestone group that started fairly recently?
I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
I think it's fine.
There's also, if you're ever looking for stuff like that, there's a company called Deconstruction Works down in Brattleboro,
Yes.
and they donate stuff. Well, when I posted stuff to support stillbirths and stuff like that, they were always like, you can donate, a plaque and we'll even engrave it for you. So,
Oh, that's really nice.
yeah, they're really into doing stuff like that.
Okay. Well, hopefully, I don't know if we'll need more than 10 bricks, but hopefully, hopefully we will.
Yeah.
They're cute. They look good. I don't know. I have to put a poster together, so for that, or I did already.
So when you're putting out a request for something, what about also putting it just right in the newsletter?
I never even thought about that.
Because I realize I never saw it, but I look at the newsletter every week, so.
Worth making like some, with all these things that you're posting, some posters to just hang up in a few places around town.
I make a poster for every single event. So, but we don't hang them up.
I'm
because-
happy to, I love hanging posters up. I'm happy to bring some around.
Oh,
you
then
know,
I
Because
will.
I'm in Dover, and the other thing is I need the new calendar in a large format to put in the.
I
local
already
library.
printed out for you and I will give it to you today.
Great, perfect. Because otherwise you're trying to get your little hand, your big hand. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all set for silent.
Oh,
book
one other
club.
question. Do you post or have it do any coordination with the town of Dover on their site?
Not really.
You can,
Okay.
and it
Yeah.
might get some, interest through there. They've always said that anything that we have going on that they can help promote.
And I was just thinking about talking to Bethany too at the chamber. We haven't really worked with them, but we should.
Mhm.
The economic development people.
Mhm.
Okay. And we've got lots of book groups going. And we're gonna be doing some mushrooms. We need crafting.
That sounds like fun. What about the mushroom guy? We didn't get him this year?
I emailed him and I never got anything back from him. So
Try a couple times. He's hard to get hold of.
yeah, I'll email him again.
He was awesome. Oh
I
my
have a
God.
question about the dessert association.
Oh, I do too.
What do you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
from
yeah.
us to
So-
help you
The
Look
Vermont
at this
Eco
one,
Studies
so.
person canceled.
again? But you guys, they were gonna send someone.
Yes, they promised me they would send somebody, they would hire somebody that they could send, and they hired somebody, but they can't come. So, I am up a creek a little bit with that.
How about my book club? I mean, he's local and he does the.
Yeah.
reviews
Coming
anyways.
already, isn't it?
Yeah, we already
Is
have
he?
him.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have him in
nobody from
a couple
the,
weeks.
nobody from the, in Brattleboro?
What?
Brattleboro Environmental Education Center.
Bonneville.
Bonneville.
Yeah,
They have great, and there's a woman who came and did it.
she
we have
did the ponds
the
with the
trees.
beavers.
Oh, we had,
Oh, she-
different, just like a different thing from last summer was the trees.
Well, one time she came in and she had done like a year-long study with the beavers and ponds. Yeah, that was really
Yeah, I was
interesting.
thinking that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did reach out to a company that does like historic reenactors, and they want $1,000 plus somewhere to stay for the night. So,
Anybody
What
from the
about our
historical
living history?
how
Yeah,
about
or even
historical
the
Dover Historical
Dover Historical Society.
Well, they have that going on like at the
They'll be
parade that
open.
weekend already.
They'll be
Yeah.
open, yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to see more of the nature. I think that you get more
yeah,
of like full family than
I did also reach out to a band to see if they would be willing to play that night and just completely change it up.
Mhm,
And they were already booked.
mhm.
So,
And it's Thursday the first.
Thursday the
So
1st.
that's,
it's coming up quickly.
yeah, and we're not on their advertising for the events. When I looked it up, yeah, I don't know if they can update that or not.
Yeah, I can talk to, I think Bethany's taking more of a role in that this year. I think the chamber is doing more of it. Than
Just
in
because I was
past
like,
years.
what are the activities? I'm like, oh, you were not in there. So,
Should we,
I'm
is
almost
it getting
thinking
too late to do it?
in September instead.
Or
have we already advertised it?
Well, like, it's on the calendar, but that's about it. It's very light.
Mhm.
So
September, I don't know.
we
Summer,
lose
you
a
get
lot
more
of our
s-
summer people.
Yeah.
Um,
what, yeah, I wonder if you just pass for this year again.
I'd like to
Well,
try to do something.
Why don't you reach out to
Yeah.
Bonneville first
Yeah.
and see? And what about the bear rehabilitation people?
I reached out to them and
And they're not-
nothing from them. So I,
And the
yeah,
same thing,
I,
Jen's and the bird and raptor program.
we're going there in September.
Mhm.
Never been.
So, I don't know if anybody would come from the butterfly place, if they would do any, I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Good ideas.
Yeah, these are, because I don't, I was,
Bonneville is, they have a lot of
um,
great people over there. Yeah.
I sent your name to an author that I donated books to the children's library. Old books, I think I was telling you about those.
oh,
Bobby
yes,
the cat.
yes.
And I had sent an email off to the author being like, oh my gosh, we love these books. We sent her, extra books to the library. And she's going to be doing a tour in the fall in the Northeast. She's local to Massachusetts and just going to libraries and reading her books. And she also she's an award-winning author. I forget her name off the top of my head. It's on the cover of the book.
Great. Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, so there's that. But then also, if you're talking about September, what about getting a photographer here to do like autumn photography? Because if you want to get in people like the tourists who are coming here, they're coming here to see the leaves, right? So if you get them pulled in to the library, they'd be like, oh, did you have to take these photos? Like,
Do you think your neighbor James might be interested?
I don't know. I mean, I think he'd like to do something, maybe more of it like a show here, and there could be someone talking about, yeah, that's a nice idea, like photography in autumn, lighting, things like
Yeah,
that.
that's a great idea.
With a show of work as well. I don't think that should be the
No.
dessert social.
Yeah,
and
no.
not September. It's like late September,
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
October. And as far as when people are really here, as far as tourists, it's more
I
October.
could see that doing that in
That's-
like
that's a
August
great
for
idea.
the people that are
That's
around
fun,
so that
yeah.
they can be ready for the leaves. If you do it right in the middle of leaf season, then people are gonna be out leaf peeping. They're not gonna, but I think it's a great, some sort of photography thing. And I'm thinking, just when you go to Vermont Artisans, there's Alistair something or other.
Oh, yeah, that-
Callum, I think, he
Oh,
does
that's amazing.
beautiful
Wow.
stuff.
Yes.
There's a couple of artists, photographers that do amazing work on Vermont Center for Photography. Could probably get somebody from there. And actually, I could even mention, I'm going in there with some stuff.
So that's programming for the fall.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll reach out to Bonneville. I'll reach out to Vin's Butterfly Museum. I'll
Yeah,
look at and
let's
see
let's
what.
look at it. I mean, it's coming up fast.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, we're not gonna have another meeting before. then.
and
yeah,
Or
and
the,
if we are going to have it, it has to be promoted
yeah.
the
more.
planetarium in St.
But
James.
I mean, even if
Fairbanks
it's because we
Museum.
talked about possibly even doing it here in
Yeah.
the library. You said, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do.
Let's
that
contact Bonneville
because
And
the hall
I
is
think-
taken that
I
night.
think it still has potential. Then
yeah.
we could contact the chamber and
Yeah.
Try to work more.
Sign this, I'm trying to think, the Science Museum up in Norwich, Southern Norwich.
Yeah, I know.
Munshire.
Yeah,
Monshire,
Monshire,
yeah, and then
yeah.
there's the Fairbanks Museum. Um,
I
there's
did
the
reach out to
Echo Center.
Hildene. I tried to get somebody from
Hmm.
Hildene to come and they passed because they're too busy doing stuff there.
Yeah.
But I'm writing it down as I'm saying the words.
Munshire.
Fairbanks.
Mhm.
They
do all kinds of science
Museum.
programs, and
Oh,
they're
Echo
an education
Museum.
piece.
I
Yeah,
wonder
fun,
if
big educational piece.
BPR. Have you
Yeah,
guys
I
ever
think
heard of the But Why?
Yeah. so it's
Yeah,
just us.
program, yeah.
They were pushing it hard last year. Because it's one or maybe 2 years ago, it got like it's
Yeah.
a lot of national attack.
Well, their StoryCorps just came to
Um,
Brattleboro.
So I
That's
think
right,
they
I
have a
saw
kid
that.
ask a question and then they do a whole, basically like a podcast about it.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And they did a thing at
Do all kinds of
Latches
stuff.
once.
Mhm.
And Mike Clough
Mhm.
did something with them there. It was fun.
They do brick teas around the state. This may be a little separate on different topic, but, it might
sorry.
be
They do.
Dover brick comps. They do brick teas, for previewing, brick comps that the people watch, I guess, and then from that, they choose some of their favorites.
Oh,
And that's something else, just something to check on. They do it around the state, it happens like once a year. Thing to
I really like that.
sort of
idea.
sponsored by the
Oh, so
So
yeah.
what would you do with
the
this?
town hall or something.
Maybe here or like?
what the But Why?
Yeah.
Oh, they to see if somebody would come and talk here or
I know a lot
maybe
of the kids in the Dover school know about why.
yeah.
Oh,
So
Cool.
I'm
It's
sure
a-
they're
Look you up,
interested
it
in
looks
a lot.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, maybe that'll be the first one.
Great. And if not, then maybe another
lots of
event or
things.
next year. Yeah. another-
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So do we all need to sign this agreement?
Oh, yeah, so Ian sent me that. He usually charges a retainer. For us, he would not. But I think it's only one, I think I'm the only one who really needs to sign it.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give it to you all so that you could see, he said, he's perfectly as long as I sent him the login information, he can,
And is that rate a normal rate?
but theoretically, we wouldn't be paying him unless I'm no longer here
Mhm.
physically in this realm. So,
That's great that you can step into that.
and he's a Rotarian, so,
I see 'em.
yeah, I see him all the
That's
time.
my neighbor.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so you'll sign that. We had already talked about it and
Yeah.
approved it. We just needed to have the form.
Yeah.
Cool.
Open to a close.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Just to let you know, the next meeting is August
Yeah,
13th.
that was a mistake on my part.
That's a Tuesday, I take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I might not be here, which would matter.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would.
If you're
We don't
here.
have Sue, and we don't have you, then we don't have a quorum.
So did we officially call the meeting? Did we end it? Did we officially
We did
end it?
not do the vote yet.
Well, you
She made a
I
motion,
I made a
seconded
motion
it.
to
Second
adjourn.
You second, okay.
All in favor,
I
Aye.
opposed? All right.